Hello everybody and welcome to the Menagerie. Today we are playing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 The Sith Lords. As you can see, I have some mods installed with the restored content mod as well as other mods to make the game look better, up-res textures, and some gameplay enhancement mods. It's just me, Tabby, today, as has been usual lately. This is a game very near and dear to my heart that I played a lot as a child. So, start off, you create your character as you do in most RPGs. We have 3 classes to choose from: the Guardian, the Sentinel, and the Consular. The Guardian is focused purely on combat and lightsaber mastery. This is the character class for if you don't care about force powers, if you don't care about anything except just raw DPS, just my numbers are bigger than your numbers, this is the character for you. Because of that, it does make them the easiest, I would say, in the game, probably, just because you easily outpower everybody in combat. But outside of combat, you're a bit lacking. But if that stuff doesn't bother you, go for it. This is the Sentinel. The Sentinel is the jack of all trades, master of none character. The Sentinel is good in both combat and out of combat, and honestly is probably my favorite class to play as, and probably will be the class that I pick. And then last, you have the Consular. The Counselor is all about force powers, and all about outside of combat stuff. If you just want to be Counselor Palpatine and you just want unlimited power, everyone, which you can do in this game, this is the class for you. If you just want to mow down people with lightning and drain their life using the Force, and maybe even choke them to death without touching them, well, here you go. Those are all dark side powers, though, so, well, we'll get into that later. I'm going to choose the Sentinel because it's my favorite class. I like the Jack of all trades, master of none style. It you know, it means we will be lacking in both, but we will be able to competently do both, which is very important because I like to use force powers, but, you know, I also like to just hit people with the lightsaber. I'm gonna do a custom character. So you've got some options to choose from. I can see that one mod already isn't working. That's going to be a thing here. A fun game of which mods are and aren't working. There was a mod that lets you play as a Twi'lek. It's not working. But that's okay, because I already have a character in mind. So, for here, it's D&D style rules. You have a plus or a minus to roll. I would recommend, if you really want to go all in with being a jack of all trades, to get everything at least up to 10, so you don't have a minus in anything. However, the way I'm going to play it, I'm going to leave strength at 8, because we're not going to be using strength. We will bump up all the stuff that we will be using a whole lot to 13, which is everything else. So here's the thing. Anything above 13, which gives you anything 12 or above gives you a +1, but if you go to 14 and above, it gives you a +2. However, once you hit 14, everything starts costing 2 points to up. So, the idea is to really pick and choose what it is you do and don't want to use. And I think think we're gonna do it this way. It's tough. It's always tough to do these. Constitution is really, really good, but I think what I might do is just put it at 10. I think I might use those points to pump up something else. Like intelligence. And I would like to bump up dexterity, but I don't. We'll bump up Constitution to a level 11. So this is what we're at. Strength 8, Dexterity 14, Constitution 11, Intelligence 15, Wisdom 13, and Charisma 15. That's where we're going to stay there. These are your skills. These are the most important things about your character. These are all of your out-of-combat stuff. And it's very important. The class that I picked, the Sentinel, has the most class skills in the game. Everything that's a class skill is marked in orange. Everything that's a cross-class skill, which means your character doesn't specialize it, is marked in green. Sentinel has the most class skills in the game. Everything except for demolitions and repair is a class skill, which means you only cost 1 point to up it. If it was a cross-class skill, which means your character isn't specialized in it, it would cost 2 points. Because of that, we could just clean pickings of what we want to up. Your 3 most important skills in the entire game are Treat Injury, Persuade, and Awareness. You are in fact the only character in the entire game that can manipulate Persuade. Every other character has a set amount of Persuade and you cannot change it, if I'm remembering correctly. Or that might just be the first game. Anyways, that leaves us with 8 points left. I recommend you put it into computer use, and at least 2 into security, and at least 1 into stealth. You don't need to bump up stealth super high, but you need to have at least 1 in stealth. In fact, I might bump up computer use. I take computer use down so I can up security. The reason why I recommend you put 1 into stealth is because early on in the game you will be given the item that lets you go into stealth mode, and you cannot equip that item unless you have 1 stealth. Stealth isn't super great. It's not super important. I don't really recommend. I mean, you can make a stealth build. It's not that it sucks. It's just that why would I stealth when I can just not? When I can just not. I think we're gonna put our last point into security. Security is pretty important. The thing about this is, you can create a character that is bad in some ways, because your companions will make up for that. So if you want to be a character that's like I usually do, all about awareness and persuade and treat injury, you can have one of your companions be all about computer use or demolitions and stuff to make up for the fact that you don't know anything about that. However, we won't be getting companions for quite some time, so for this little intro bit, it does help to be kind of okay at everything. In fact, I think I'm just gonna say no to stealth so that we can put at least 1 into demolition. You know what? We will, because I want to put at least 1 into here. There we go. Everything at least has 1 point into it. We're gonna go with that. Feats. Feats are very, very important. Feats are the abilities that your character can do. There's a lot of them, and I have a mod that adds more, such as wrist-mounted rockets, stuff like that. You start off, or at least I do with my mods, I start off with 4 feats. I believe you start off with 2 normally. I do have a mod that ups the amount of feats and stuff that you get each level up, which is very important because as you can see, there's quite a bit of them, and max level you might not be able to get all of them, which is fine because some of them aren't super useful, some of them are. But yeah, thing. I highly recommend you get this. It lets your health points regenerate outside of combat. Same with this, it lets your force points regenerate outside of combat. They're probably the most important feats you can get, and I highly recommend getting them. Because we will be playing a Jedi build, I will be using force powers, which means, unfortunately, we cannot wear armor. So this feat right here, which I would normally recommend that you get, which lets you wear different types of armor, light, medium, and heavy. If you want to go a non-Jedi build and just go like blasters or just like swords and stuff, I highly recommend that you put everything you have into these. Same with if you want to go two-handed, I highly recommend you get all of the two-handed weapon fighting, which is actually what we'll be doing. There you go. It's very, very helpful. We could give our character a silly Star Wars name, but I already have a name in mind. Alice Day. That sounds pretty good. And let's go. Spend 10 minutes just on the character creation. That's going to be a standard for RPGs. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, we're going to get demonetized. Star Wars lore. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan or anything. In fact, I honestly don't really like most of the movies. I like the games though. The Star Wars games are great. I mean, the original trilogy is okay. They're solid games. Movies. I meant to say movies. The prequels are pretty fun to watch too, but not for the right reasons. And the sequels sure did try, except for the last one, which didn't try. The first two sure did try. The Mandalorian's okay though. I liked the first season. I didn't like the second season as much, but you know. Star Wars. I like this game.
The Is adrift in space after a terrible battle. Most of its crew are dead or dying.
Like this woman.
You lie in the medical room
Hey, that's
in
me.
critical condition. You won't survive long without medical attention. The hyperdrive is damaged. Main power must be restored in order to bring the engines online and dock with the nearby Peragus
It's spitting out those Nerf balls.
for much needed repairs. Your fate and that of the Ebon Hawk depend upon T3M4, a lone astromech droid. Return to this location at any time to skip the prologue.
Poor T3 has his little
Press
thingy out. Look at it. You see it? His little thingy.
To move T3M4.
So yeah, the reason why I decided to... Yeah? Thank you. The reason why I decided to do this game solo is because
to target one of these objects, move close to it, left click on it,
Why?
or press Q or E to cycle through available targets. To interact with an object, first target it, and then left click on it.
Why does this always happen when I do things by myself? My mouse isn't working. at all. Give me a moment here.
Patience console.
You know,
To
it
target
wouldn't
one of
be
these
a
objects, look close to it, left click on it, or press Q
it wouldn't be a
Cycle
solo
through the available
adventure
points.
without everything
Interact
breaking.
with an
But
object. First target it, and then left click on it.
I thought we fixed it. Okay, we did.
You will
Wouldn't be
come
a solo
across
adventure
many
if everything broke.
containers. Some will
Anyways, as I was saying, the main reason why I decided to do this game solo instead of with somebody else is there's a lot of dialogue in this game. A lot of it. And I'm not going to talk over most of the dialogue. I think I'm just going to let a lot of the dialogue, you know,
This is
play
the
by
main
itself. Obviously, this tutorial stuff with this tutorial woman, who is, I think, the ship itself. Obviously, I'm gonna be talking over her when it's not like
This old woman appears
when it's
to
like
be dead.
this.
There is a key card on the body that looks like it opens a locker somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of it, and I don't want to.
Your security skill is too low to
I don't
open this footlocker.
I don't
However,
necessarily want to talk over it. You know, it's I feel like it's important stuff.
if
You know,
need
you gotta
help
show it off.
exploring the Ebon Hawk, access the map screen by pressing. This is the cargo hold.
But yeah. As I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, this game, you know, is very near and dear to my heart. I played it a lot as a kid, and I think it's really good. There's plenty of it on the internet that you can find other people playing it. I think.
You use the key card you found.
So-
Talking to other characters is much like using the computer console in the cockpit. Scroll through your response options or move the mouse cursor, and then click to select a response. Note that some responses may influence how other characters react to you, so choose carefully. Furthermore, certain skills, powers, and attributes may modify what choices you have, or how successful you are with those choices.
Try talking to him.
3CFD is malfunctioning. You can fix him by using a part. Luckily, you have already found one. If you repair 3CFD, he can join your party and assist you in repairing the ship.
That sounds like a good idea.
Success! You have fixed 3CFD. Now he will join your party.
Yeah.
3CFD
You've probably
is
seen other
now a
people play
member
this,
of your
but never
party.
like me.
To change which party member
I'm
you control, click on their portrait
Weird in
or
the way that I
press
do
tab.
things.
Sensor droids emerged from this box when you opened it. These droids will make for excellent target practice. Use the weapon from this container to attack the droids.
We don't need that. We're not gonna attack the droids.
You can equip a
Bye.
weapon from the equip screen. To
Bye.
open the equip
That field
screen,
survival pistol will
click
come in
on-
handy.
This blast door is magnetically sealed and cannot be opened.
Excuse me. You're supposed to be following me. Hey, why does he have full health, but I don't?
This lift will take you to the outer hull of the Ebon Hawk, where you will find many parts and lines to use for accessing and repairing the hyperdrive. Use the lift controls to go up.
Okay.
While some doors can be bashed open or cut open with a lightsaber or cutting tool, some doors require the
Look,
This
it's
is
me.
the medical room.
There I am. Just lying there. I'm just out cold.
You have found med packs. You can use one to stabilize the condition of the human lying on the bed.
Why don't we do that? She looks like she's about
The
to
med
die.
pack can stabilize your condition.
Yeah, sure.
Success! You are stabilized. To recover fully, you will require the medical facilities at the Peragus mining station. But you are not in any danger of dying from your wounds right now.
That's probably for the best. Alright, get out of my way.
This is the main hold.
What does it hold? That's a little joke we like to play around here.
Your security skill is too low to open this footlocker. However, you can use your weapon.
Okay, well let's blast it open. broken items. Aw.
Sometimes bashing or blowing open.
Yeah, sometimes you break open stuff. It'll do that. Let's go into solo mode real quick. Why are you back here? Get out of here. Alright, stay here, okay? Access security doors. We're going to close the outer one. And we're going to open the inner one. And we're going to log out. And then we're going to let this little guy do his work.
This is a workbench. With a workbench, you can break down objects in your inventory into components. You can then use the components to create repair kits, weapons, armor, and upgrades. Because of the damage to the Ebon Hawk, this workbench has limited functionality. You can still use it to create a repair kit, which you can use to repair yourself. Use the workbench to break down the items you've found into components. Then use the components to create a repair kit.
Crafting! But this did it before, it was cool. I probably won't use it very often, but just know that it's there.
The store is sealed. This is the starboard dormitory.
There's just not a lot of
This blast door is magnetically
useful things that you can do
This
with
is
it,
the
I'll be
garage.
honest. Okay, well, T3 is just gonna leave C3 there.
This is the. You can use this lift to take you to the outside of the Ebon Hawk.
Oh, we do that, yeah. Now, I will say that I will skip. So there's like droids and various alien species who speak, droids speak various forms of droid, and aliens speak various alien languages. I will be skipping their dialogue. Not like immediately skipping it. I'll let it play out a little bit so you can have enough time to read it in the bottom, the subtitle, but it can go on a little long. And I think it's probably just
Don't forget to explore the other. This is
It can go
the
on a
bubbles
little long,
ahead
and I,
indicate mines
you
that
know.
you've detected automatically with your awareness skill. Some mines require higher awareness to detect.
I
Approach
will
mines carefully. They will blow up and damage you if you get
give
too
you
close.
enough
You
time
can use
to
your
read it,
demolition
but
skill to either disable or recover these mines. Recovering mines requires a higher demolition skill than disabling them, but you get to keep the mine, which you can then use to set as a trap for enemies or break down into components at a workbench.
this is why I think it's best to have at least one in every skill. One, and demolitions won't usually let you recover mines, but in the early game, we'll be meeting a lot of mines.
You can use the explosive device in this missile to blow open the engine room door inside the Ebon Hawk. This will give you access to the hyperdrive. After you plant a mine, back away quickly so that you do not take damage.
But I'm all about taking damage. I mean, look at me. Okay, well, I might as well let him do his thing on the other side.
This
Get some
open
parts.
hatch has some parts that will be useful for getting main power restored.
Always need more parts.
This busted engine port has some needed parts for the Ebon
Excuse me.
Hawk's hyperdrive. Take the parts
go over here to get some more
back
parts.
down below to get main power. These exposed wires control the door to the starboard dormitory. The door is currently sealed, but you can override it from here.
That sounds like a good idea.
Success. The door is opened. You can now access the starboard dormitory through the garage.
We were just there too. I guess we'll have to go back.
You can use this.
Yeah, we've already heard that. Let's go inside. I hope the mods that make the game look better are working. Honestly, it's been a long time. It's been like over a year since I played this game last. So I don't actually remember if
This is the engine
Yeah.
room.
thank you. I don't actually remember. I assume they are. All they really do is just upscale the game, like up-res the textures and stuff.
This is the main hold.
They don't really do anything crazy or fancy.
This is the cockpit.
I'm not sure why he shouldn't be going invisible. Unless he's got like a invisibility thing on him, but he shouldn't. He usually doesn't. We can check that later. Somebody wants inside. Did you hear that? Go check it out.
You can hear a banging noise coming from the other side of the door to this storage compartment, but the door
I guess
opened from the outside.
we'll check that out later.
This is the starboard dormitory.
Sounds like a pretty nice place. Look at all these beds. This ship is huge. A
Found
flamethrower.
droid flamethrower.
You know, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't think it like from the outside, but this ship is really big. It might not be like height-wise big, but overall, it's a pretty big ship. Big enough for a whole crew.
This is the engine room. The starboard engine is badly damaged. The hyperdrive is suffering badly. You won't be able to make the jump to light speed until it is fully repaired, and you do not have the needed equipment here on the Ebon Hawk. However, you should be able to rig the hyperdrive to restore primary power and bring the port engine online. This will allow you to dock with the Peragus mining station for full repairs.
I guess you could call it a calm drive because it's damaged, not hyper anymore.
Success. The hyperdrive is online. Primary power is restored.
Or would it be a
Only one
chill
step
drive?
remains. Return to the galaxy map in the cockpit and travel to Peragus.
We better do that before she screams at us. Do you think that's like the ship's AI, or do you think it's
This is the main hold.
like T3 has his own like onboard AI along with his own AI?
This is the cockpit.
Or his own
you can now
programming.
plot a course to the Peragus mining station.
This is the only
To
time we
dock
ever
with
hear this
Peragus,
voice.
Left-click on the Peragus planet to select it, and then left-click on the travel button.
Right. Let me just put this over here. These cutscenes are usually in 4:3, but I did install a mod to make them in a full aspect ratio. Usually, unless the mod's not working and I'm just lying to you, and these are usually in 4:3. I don't know.
The sensors show the door to the storage compartment is being sliced. There
Oh
is
no.
someone, or something, else alive on the Ebon Hawk.
Let's go check it out. Come on, friend. How'd you get out of the garage? Oh, it's droid. Would you classify droids as being alive? It's a thing you can fight about in the comments. Are droids alive? Truly alive? What is a dead droid but just a deactivated one? What makes a droid die? You know? If they just suffer a lot of damage and shut down, couldn't you just take out their like hard drives and pop it in a new droid body? Things to think about, you know?
Awake.
Yeah, we're kind of buff. We're kind of muscular. I mean, for like 2004 when this game came out. How did us getting out of the KOTOR tank turn on all these things? Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna save the game real quick now that it actually works. Let's name it Peragus 1. It's best to save in multiple save slots, so you know we're gonna make a Peragus 2. Okay. Let's see what we've got in our inventory. Alright, we've looked at our inventory. Kolto tanks, that's a thing that you see in the second or the first game. If you're wondering why I decided to do the second game instead of the first, it's because I kind of don't like the first game. Hot topic, but a hot take. I meant to say hot take. Whoa, you're not supposed to be here. I did install a mod to make Peragus a bit harder. Just a bit harder. We usually don't see these things for quite a while. Alright, no. Cancel. I'm out of here. You can't make me fight no more. Yes. Okay, thank you. Because Peragus can get a little... It can go on for quite a long time. There's whole mods dedicated to just skipping Peragus outright. It can go on for a while, and it can just... It gets a little boring, because after a while, like, there's just no enemies to fight, and you're just walking around. So I did install a mod that, adds a bit more enemies where there usually wouldn't be, including these two right here. Do I think it's fair? I did add some mods that make the game a bit easier overall. Like, I added a mod that... Like, the mods that gives you more feats, mods that gives you more skills, stuff like that. So, it's a trade-off. There's more enemies, but I also get more skills and more experience. Like, look at that, we've already got a mining laser. So, I like the trade-offs like that. As you saw with my... Actually, so I couldn't save the game, so I did have to change my stats a little bit. Now it's Strength 8, Dexterity 13, Constitution 14, Intelligence 15, Wisdom 13, and Charisma 14. That's how it is now. So I did change my stats a little bit. Since I have a high Constitution, blasters are going to be your friend. If you have a high Strength, obviously swords are going to be your friend. That's just kind of how it is. I am going to go with blasters up until we get a lightsaber. There is a feat that we'll look at later that lets you... So normally a lightsaber would be classified a melee weapon. It would stack off of strength. But there is a feat that lets it stack off of dexterity instead of strength. So you can still use a lightsaber if you want to, if you're a dexterity-focused character. Anyways, let's look at these medical logs.
Still examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only one survivor, placed in the KOTOR tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship was able to make it inside the Peragus asteroid field without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to...
Or do what?
Could be a Jedi. But we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially KOTOR, are already another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the KOTOR tanks in time, but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics.
Oh, those droids.
Miners about the Jedi. A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in. We deactivated several of them, and moved them down to maintenance. But we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the Telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown.
Warning. There has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters.
Bad luck, I
and prepare
suppose.
for emergency venting countermeasures.
ventilation systems are malfunctioning. Evacuate the medical bay. Everyone evacuate.
Seems like things didn't go very well. We're all dead except for me. I recovered. The medical logs. I meant the treatment logs. Last treatment resulted in death except for me. And it almost killed me. A lethal dose of sedatives. Interesting. I don't have any computer spikes, but we do need to get into the morgue anyway, so let's just open the door. I guess that's all we can do for now. Corpse. It's that old woman. She looks dead, but there's no signs of what killed her. What about this person? They have a plasma torch on him. Oh, I guess she's not dead. Don't let anyone see your eyes. They'll know you're blind.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead. Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things.
I mean, maybe.
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer.
I wouldn't
as
say
you are
that.
mine. Tell me, do you recall what happened?
I was on a Republic ship. The Harbinger?
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
How the hell did you know I'm a Jedi?
Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
Guilt. Let's deal with this now.
I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave.
Sounds like a good idea.
We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
You seem nervous.
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived.
Sure, there's probably someone left alive.
You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
You don't like the One Piece?
I do not know. Why did they spare you? Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
Whoever did it knew I was a Jedi.
And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
Alright.
I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
We got some light side points. Our first step into the path of the light side. Yes, I will be playing a light side character. Sorry, I just don't have the heart to be a dark side character. I don't have the heart to just kill everyone and just be a jerk to everybody.
Emergency lock.
Not my kind of thing. Oh yeah. Here's a fun thing that you can do in the second game, but not the first. You can have multiple stuff. Multiple weapons equipped.
Emergency lock.
It's super useful. Here's the button to switch weapons. It's right here. Makes it easier than going to your inventory. The first game, and immediately the plasma cutter, or the plasma torch is useless. Anyways, the first game, you can only have one weapon equipped at a time, which means if you want to equip multiple weapons, Or if you want to have, like, you know, a weapon for every situation, you have to go through the inventory, and it's a big deal. Here, you can just switch back and forth whenever you feel necessary. Oh, hey, look. We have Rapid Shot. Rapid Shot's probably my favorite when it comes to blaster abilities. There we go. Easy as can be. Can we get another mining laser? Let's equip that. It only gives us a small minus, which is fine. Yes, if you equip multiple weapons and you don't have the skill for it, the like two-handed skill, you will get a minus, a penalty to hit. It can suck in the early game, but once you get it all, like, we go. There's the one that shows our feats. I don't know. Here it is, feats. See, we have 2 right now. At 2, well, there's all this. It's a lot of technical stuff. But what it basically means is that, better, bigger numbers. That's all I care. Oh.
You hear it. It is fate, but it is there. It is the force you feel.
That's not supposed to happen at this point.
For you to forget.
This is happening earlier, but it's fine.
Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place.
There we go. Yeah, that happens when you level up the first time. That's happening early because there were, you know, more enemies and stuff. But the first time you level up, that happens. It's because you're reawakening your ability to sense the force and manipulate it and stuff. Speaking of, we are going to level up, but in a second. You still gain experience points, and the experience points that you gain above your level up still go, as you can see here. It is advantageous to hold on to your level up, actually, and not just go straight for it, and I will show you that. Right, you know, after this. Well, I was hoping we would take damage. But basically... No, go to the streak. Go. Basically what happens is, if you're low on health, or force powers or anything, whenever you level up, it will automatically boost you to max health and force powers. So, it is actually very advantageous to hold on to your level up, especially if you know that you're going into a particularly deadly combat encounter. Because instead of using, you know, points or resources to heal up, you can just level up and suddenly you've got health back. Very, very good, I feel. Anyways, we've got some more stuff to look at.
Is this thing on? Alright, all hands, especially you, KOTOR. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Peragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Peragus II and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out.
Wow, seems pretty important that we not use grenades.
And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just Korta and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility is going to be space dust by the time the next Helos freighter arrives.
Mining droids.
So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I could just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility and stop him. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low-grade mining lasers to take them down. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
Idiot.
The exchange, huh?
I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt
Why?
Korta or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this, but I'm not taking any chances while we're sitting in the middle of this asteroid minefield. Whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. Nothing will cut through that door. He'll be trapped.
Okay, but why?
I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. If I have the specs right, the interface field should be effective against the droid's sensors. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as I don't get too close to the droids, they shouldn't detect me. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications blister console. I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged, maybe even turn them against whoever's sabotaging them.
Sounds like an interesting idea. Well, I think that's where we're gonna end this video off right there. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, subscribe. You don't rate YouTube videos anymore, right? Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I mean, rate the video anyways in the comments if you want. It has to be out of 10. And share the video with all your friends, all that stuff, all the good housekeeping stuff that I'm gonna try to get more forceful with. Not forceful, that's the wrong word. More proactive with. There we go, proactive. A nice, clean word. And yeah, I love this game. I hope to do more. I plan on doing a whole full Let's Play of it. So let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe and all that stuff. And this was Tabby with the Menagerie. I will see you next time.